Okay, you are all welcome. Good evening to you all, and welcome to day 9 of this data analytics bootcamp. Like I said, this particular bootcamp will last for about 3 months, and today is the 4. So what we always started with is to share our uh, outlines, what we are about to what we are going to cover for today. These are our outlines for today. If you can recall, yesterday we treated our assignment, which I show you step by step on how to solve that particular assignment from A to Z. And also, we'll have a recap on that. Then we'll talk about data types. Today, we'll discuss about data types, qualitative data, quantitative data, numerical data, nominal data, ordinal data, discrete data, continuous data, then structured and unstructured data. I forgot one data that I'm supposed to put here, and we are going to treat it also, which is let me put it here. I'll call it categorical data. So these are the types of data we are going to cover today. Our class will be more of theoretical class. So I don't think we are going to have any practical today. So we are going to explain this. We are going to explain these data types in today's class. Okay. So about yesterday, if you can recall, yesterday we treated the assignment, and I zoomed each and every one of you saw some of the mistakes he made in his own assignment. I know some of you spend much time than expected to solve the assignment, and that's good. It's a good experience because uh, doing whatever you did, even if you are right or you are wrong, you had an experience, and that experience will remain yours forever. So there is nothing like you failed or you win, nothing like that. You all did great, and I think that you also the way that you can tackle questions when they were given to you to answer them based on any data available. Um, uh, um, I think what I want to tell you is that, you see, uh, I gave you some questions. I gave you some questions, and I gave you some questions, and I asked you to answer the questions. What's happening now is that you see, I'm sorry, please. I'm sorry. I'm
Yes, sir.
sorry. It's just like okay, I'm so sorry, please. Someone is kind of disturbing me, and I have to respond to him. I'm sorry, please. So, what I want you to have in your mind, based on the question I gave you yesterday, have it in your mind that at the end of this boot camp, Nobody will ask you to do anything on a data. A data will only be given to you. You are the one to create questions on your own and to solve them on your own. Nobody will tell you what to do. So please and please try as much as you can to keep reading such questions and have them at the back of your mind whenever a data was given to you. Try as much as you can to know how to create your own questions and answer such particular questions on your own. So it's something that you need to start thinking. And what this data analytics is all about, the more you answered questions about a data, that shows how talented you are in that particular field. So the more, if a data was given to me and I answered about maybe let's say 20 questions on in that particular data, somebody did 30, somebody did 40, that shows how expertise, so who is better than who, based on what you did with the data. So please, you should learn that.
Sir.
Now, I can hear you.
Sir, yes. Yesterday we said we'll talk about the rank function, but we didn't talk about it.
Yeah, I know that rank function that I said yesterday. I just look at it that is not the next line from our outlines. It's not the next thing to do.
Okay,
to treat. This data type, we're supposed to treat data type before we move to that.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, so that's all I want to talk about about yesterday's assignment. So please go back there, read the questions, understand the questions, learn a lot about the questions, and please try as much as you can. Watch the video that we treated the assignment. Please try as much as you can to treat the assignment on your own. Do it on your own, learn it, understand it. Like I told you, it's a real assignment. Each and every of the two sections are all real life works. So if you learn how to do the second one, especially the second one, believe me, there is every tendency that you can be able to work in almost all the NGOs we have in Nigeria. You can work there and you can pass their test. So please, as much as you can, try as much as you can to keep revision, the practicing the questions and answering them. Please try as much as you can to do that. The next, our first topic of today, we are going to treat the data types. Why are we talking about these data types? Why? Because I want you to learn about this data type from today so that this data type that you are seeing will help you a lot during your analysis. It will help you a lot in creating visualization. It will help you a lot to learn how to analyze data. Not every data that you are seeing, if you don't know the type of a particular data, analyzing such data will be a very, very difficult task to you. Will be a very, very difficult task to you, analyzing a data without knowing the type of that particular data. And that's what we are going to discuss today. So that from today you will know what are the types of data that we have and how are you going about that in order for you to treat such particular data. Take note, this data type that we are going to talk about are statistical data types. If you are learning programming languages, you will come across different data types in different programming languages, such like string, Boolean, float, and others. You will be hearing such like that. So we are not talking about such data type that has to do with programming language. We're talking about the statistical data type that data analysts are supposed to learn and know about them. That's what we are discussing about today. So the first one is, and take note, as I'm explaining this, I'm not going to take them serious. As I'm explaining them, I'm going to take one after the other. When I'm explaining, I will merge those that are in the same category for you. So please just keep writing them so that maybe if I say this and I mention those that have the same type with the other, then just jot it down so that you will be able to understand how the data types are. So you will be hearing about qualitative data. qualitative data. This qualitative data is any data that come in alphabets. That is not in number. It's a data that comes not in number. Please, this qualitative data that you are seeing, most of the time, you'll come across data that by mere looking at it is 1. By mere looking at it is 2. But it's not 1 and 2. It's not representing 1. That particular 1 is representing something, and that particular 2 is representing something. So as a data analyst, understand what type of data are you dealing with. If, for example, you saw a data, it's just showing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe under qualification, 1 can stand for BSc, 2 can stand for HND, 3 can stand for ND, 4 can stand for OND, for example, and 5 can stand for SSC. Don't take them as number, because if you take them as number, you calculate them and sum it up, it will give you maybe total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is total of like 10. Don't do that. That's not a number. It's a categorical data. You are the one that think it's a number. It's not a number. So that's why sometimes as a data analyst, you will have this idea that there is every tendency sometimes 1 is better than 5 when you are doing data analysis. Because now in this scenario that I told you, 1 is better than 5 by mere looking. But to you, you will think that no, 5 is better than 1. Because BSc can never be less. SSC can never be better than BSc. So you should understand this. When you saw a data, understand what type of data are you dealing with. Is it qualitative data, or is what? Or is not a qualitative data? And take note, qualitative data sometimes it will come in, like I say, in alphabetical format. For example, under gender, you saw male, you saw female. It's a data, but that data is a what? Is a qualitative data. Male, female, like color, black, red, white, all that are qualitative. This type of data is qualitative data. And this same type of qualitative data is what you will hear some people used to call it categorical data. Some people call it categorical data. So it's the same as qualitative data. Okay, someone say it's in which room again, and I couldn't find her in which room. Okay, sorry. So someone will call qualitative data as categorical data. And this categorical data or this qualitative data is divided into two. We have nominal data and we have ordinal data. Please take note of all this. We have nominal data and ordinal data. They are all under categorical or qualitative data. This nominal data is any data that when the data you will see a data is categorical or is qualitative, but that particular data doesn't have any order or rank. The data doesn't have any order or rank. For example, now when we talk about maybe hair color, it's a data. Maybe we are collecting the hair colors of people. Someone has red, someone has black, someone has dark, or something like that. That is not showing the red is better than the dark is better than the black. Even the gender. When we talk about gender, males and females in data, it's not showing priority that the male gender is better than the female gender. That's the nominal type of data. That's the nominal data. It has no rank or order. That's the type of data. It's categorical, but it has no rank. Please take note of this. It comes in alphabetical, but it has no rank. And we have ordinal. This particular ordinal data is a data that comes with rank. It's categorical data, but it has rank. For example, like qualification that I mentioned before, qualification. Qualification, by mere looking at the data below qualification or under qualification, you will have SSCE, BSc, MSc, HND, OND, whatever. By mere looking at this, you know BSc is better than SSCE. You know that. Even though it's categorical data, you know that, for example, excellent is better than very good. Good is better than fail. You know that by mere looking at it. So these are the type of things that you need to understand about this nominal and ordinal data. So take note of this. Like I made an example before that sometimes number will represent a particular qualitative data. That is for like I said, for SSCE 5, for BSc 1. That particular data, if you understand that particular data, you don't need to sum them up. What you need is to count them. That is to count the 1 and to count the 5. You are not going to sum the 5 and sum the 1. If you sum them up, you are going to have error in your analysis. Please understand this. I want you to learn all this from here because we are going to keep discussing about this, keep talking about them up till the end of this bootcamp. So that's why you need to learn this and you need to understand this type of data. So the second thing we are going to talk about, quantitative data. This is like, when we say quantitative data, we are talking about numerical data. Quantitative data, are you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you, sir.
Can you hear me? Okay, let me unmute.
Can I hear you, sir?
Okay. So Ahmad Abdul Malik, you can unmute yourself. So quantitative data, we are talking about data that came in number. That is the numerical data. You had some people call it numerical data. Any data that comes in number. So by default, you will see the salary of people, height of people, weight of people, and other. These are the type of data that, of course, you can sum this data together. Take note, even if qualitative data comes in number, you cannot sum it up. But quantitative data, you can always sum quantitative data up. You can sum it up. You can sum the salary, you can sum the height, you can sum the weight, you can sum quantitative data almost always. And it comes in a rank order because by mere looking at quantitative data, you know 100 is better than 1. Nobody should tell you that what is better. You know that 100 is better than 1. So that's how numerical data. And that numerical data is the type of data that you can take the average of that particular data, because the average is always, like I said, the average is, you know what the average is, total sum divided by total count to get the average. So in qualitative data, you can't get it, but you can get it in what? You can get it in numerical data. So this is another type of data that you need to understand. And this numerical data, sometimes some people call it scale data. Some people call it scale data. So this scale data is another type of data that any data that can be measured. Any data that can be measured. So it's scale data. Like I said, the height, the weight, the salary, we can measure the salary, the age of people. You can measure the age of people. So that's the scale data. And you can be hearing about this the scale sometimes. And also the next thing we are going to discuss is discrete data and continuous data. Continuous data and discrete data. This type of data, for example, let's take the continuous data. This continuous data is data that contains infinite number. It contains finite number. Finite number. That is like a whole number. It contains a whole number. That's the type of the data, this discrete type of data. For example, let's say the number of participants in this bootcamp. There is no way we can have 100.5 people. There is no way we can have 100.5 people. No way. It must be a whole number. That is 100 people, 102, 105, 106. That type of data is called discrete data. So it can be a lot of things like you can say the number of eggs in a pot when someone cook eggs, for example. So you say it's You can't say it's 10.5x. There is no way it can be 10.5x. So that's the type of data. All this, understand this. Sometimes when you are dealing with people, okay, let's talk about what NAG said yesterday. When we got the estimate target number of under one children, we got 10.9. There is no way you can have 10.9 target children. No way.
Yes,
It must be either whole number. It must be a whole number. So it's because the data is discrete based on the variable of that particular data. That data must be discrete data. So you should understand what type of variable you have. You need to have discrete data, and what type of variable you will have. The continuous data is opposite of discrete. It can be infinite data. That's the type of data we can have: 10.2, 10.3, 10.3333301, 0.00. Like, for example, you will not know the value of that decimal places unless you are weighing, let's say you are weighing gold. When you are weighing gold, that 0.0001 is something, and it's money. So that's the type of continuous data, because it can take any value, It can take any value, 100.333001, like this. So it can take any value continuously. So that's the type of data, continuous data. So if assuming the under one target is not children, we're not talking about children. It's something that can take continuous data. We don't need to round it up. We can leave it the way it is. So we don't need to round it up. We can leave it at that 10.9, 10.8, 10 point whatever. We can leave it like that. That continuous data and discrete data. So the last thing that we are going to talk about is number 10. We are going to discuss about structured and unstructured data. Structured data are any data that normally it comes in tabular format, or it comes with the name of its variable. That's the structured data. You will see a data, even though structured data doesn't mean well-arranged data. No, it's a data that came, because there are certain data that will come with the header, maybe the name of the header, and maybe gender. So you saw everything under it is gender. It's talking about gender. The one that comes with maybe qualification, salary, total sale, name of the places, address, and other things. So any data that comes with such particular information is structured data. And there is data that we have which is unstructured data, and is any data that has no such information related to that particular data. You are the one to get that information, or to understand about the information, what the information is talking about. That why sometimes based on this unstructured data, there is a data that came, you will see some decimal places, for example, 5.3321, 6.2238. You will think it's a money, or you will think it's a figure or something like that, but it's a geo-coordinate of a particular place. So if there is no information related, you are the one to figure that out, because that 5.66 something and you saw is addressed to something. It's a coordinates. It's coordinates that are traced to a particular thing. And this issue of this unstructured data is very difficult. You will come across that that particular data for now is very difficult, because people that are working most especially with big data, that is with big data and big companies, are the ones that are dealing with this type of unstructured data. But the data that we normally use is kind of structured data always, and you are the one to just keep arranging the data and do a lot of things about the data. So these are the things that we're going to talk about under these data types, and I urge you to please read them, maybe read about them, talk about them, bring in more examples about them, and kind of you'll understand more and more and more about it, because you will be dealing with this type of data. And when we start visualization, when we start analysis and everything, that's when you will realize that, yeah, this particular knowledge that you have about data will help you a lot, because that's when you know what type of data you need to find the average of it, what type of data you need to find the sum of it, what type of data you need to multiply, what type of data you need to find the percentage, and what type of data you need to use a particular visualization or graph or chart on it. So you should know this, learn it, and understand this, and that's what we are going to talk about in today's class. So if you have any question, you can write it in the chat I will read it. If you don't, or you can raise your hand, then I will answer the question for you. Yeah, it's okay there. I saw you. It's okay. Yeah, I saw your message and I kind of accept it. Sorry. I saw your message. Thank you too, Sanusi Abdul Manaf. Thank you. Okay, iPhone, you can talk. Unmute yourself and talk.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, iPhone. Good evening.
Sir, my question is that that's all. I need more information. I need more explanation on that ordinal data and that nominal data.
Yeah, like I said, the nominal data is data that come without any hierarchy. It's a categorical data. It comes in alphabet. For example, like I said, male and female, gender. The data comes in alphabet, male and female. By mere looking at it, you can't say which one is better than which one. You can't say that. You can't say that. Maybe hair color of people or skin color of people. Or, for example, what else? There are certain things that the data came, but you can't categorize the data. You can't say a particular thing is better than it, like countable, like names of people. You can't say someone with the name Ibrahim is better than someone with the name Ahmad. So is that the type of data we are talking about? Is data, because you know every information is data. So this is the ordinal data. Whenever you saw this data is ordinal data. And also we will have is nominal data. So as for the ordinal, is data that came in hierarchy.
Nominal data.
The ordinal came in hierarchy. It has hierarchy. By mere looking at qualification, you know someone with BSc is better than someone with SSC. By mere looking at the data, nobody, even if the data is not in, because the reason why this ordinal and nominal you need to distinct them is because the data is not in a number. It's not in numerical value. If it is numerical value, sometimes by mere looking at it, you can say that 2 is better than 1 by mere looking at data that came in number. But I warn you also that sometimes even a data comes in number, it can be an ordinal data. The data can be an ordinal data because you can only see 5 and think that 5 is better than 1. Sometimes the 1 is better than the 5. 1 is better than 5 sometimes. So you should take note on this. Please take very careful note on this. And another example of this ordinal nominal data, a data that came in category, it comes in like numeric, but it's not numeric, it's ordinal. Let's talk about BBN number. Our BBN number is a nominal data. It's not categorical data. Our BBN number, our account number. Because you can't see the account number of someone or the phone number of someone or the BBN number of someone just because it's special number is better than someone with BBN numbers or something like that. And there is no way you can sum up BBN number. There is no way you can sum the BBN number and plus them together to find the total figure of BBN number of people or account number of people. That particular information is just what? It's just a categorical information. It's just to distinct other people. It's like identical information. So please, you should take note on this. Take note on this, please. And also, someone is talking about discrete and continuous. I say discrete is like a data that takes the finite number. That's the kind of discrete. It takes a kind of finite numeric. Like I said, it takes finite number. For example, whole number, like 2, 10. For example, I say the number of participants in this bootcamp. I can never say the 101.5. I can never say that because your data must be a what? Discrete data. It must be finite number, a whole number. But continuous data is data that can take infinite number. Like I said, when we are weighing a gold, or maybe height of some people, weight of something. All this can be continuous data. So we can say 20.11133, it can take decimal places. That's discrete and continuous. And for the scale number is a numerical number. It's a numerical data, a data that can be measured. Like it's a very example of salary, a salary of people, weight of people, height of people. It can be measured because someone who is collecting salary of 20,000 is better than someone collecting 7,500. So that is scale data by mere